Hello, I'm Janice and I hope you're all doing well. I don't know if you're able to tell, but I am currently in a cafe called Kowloon Cafe, and they serve the most amazing Hong Kong food. And seeing as we can't travel right now, I thought I might as well transport myself to another place via food. And in today's video, we're going to be checking out some of my favorite places to go to get, the best Hong Kong snacks, the best Hong Kong dishes, the best Hong Kong desserts. And the first place that we're starting with is a place in Chinatown called Kowloon Cafe. They have all the classic Hong Kong snacks, Hong Kong dishes, and I've ordered quite a number of different dishes that I want to show you. Like, these are the things that I typically order when I go to a Tang in Hong Kong. So without further ado, let me show you what's on this list and taste test everything for you. Okay, before we start to fully dig in, I do want to show you the two drinks that I've got for today. I've got a hot milk tea and I've also got a cold lemon tea, so an iced lemon tea. Let me just make sure I squeeze as much of the lemon into the drink first. It's the perfect blend of sour from the lemon and sweetness from the syrup. Okay, now that we have tried our cold drink, let me show you one of my absolute go-tos, the Hong Kong style milk tea. Good Hong Kong style milk teas are quite strong and they're also very, very smooth. It's very rich and it's very strong. You can taste that tea flavor and it's so smooth. And the reason why some of the Hong Kong milk teas are so smooth is because they kind of pull the tea through a stocking-like material, which is what makes it so silky smooth. But definitely give this a go if you go to a Tang or if you come to this cafe. All right, we're now moving on to snacks. So the first snack that we're going to be trying is a Hong Kong style French toast. Now, this isn't the most healthy thing to eat, but it is very delicious. So inside there's toast with peanut butter and then they fry it. And then there's a huge slab of butter on top. And then you add condensed milk, honey, maple syrup. It's just sweet fried goodness. Typically you should, share this with people, but let's get our first bite in. This stuff is dangerous. It's very, very sweet, but it's also very creamy because you've got that butter. And in addition, you've got that peanut butter, which is a little bit salty, which kind of balances out the condensed milk and the maple syrup. Another snack that I really want to show you is the classic curry fish balls. Now, this is a street food that I typically get when I'm in Hong Kong. I can already smell how delicious it is. It's very, very elasticy, which is exactly how you want a fishbowl to be. The curry for the curry fishbowl, it's a little bit spicy, but it's never crazy spicy, which is what I love about it. While we're waiting for the other food to arrive, I do want to quickly mention that being here right now, it's like I'm in a different place. You've got the neon signs, you've got the booths, you've got the wooden tables. It's very classic Hong Kong Tang. So all the food has just arrived. There is a whole huge amount of different dishes. I'm going to be trying the hot rice roll first. So it has a bunch of different sauces. It has peanut sauce, it has sweet sauce, and a bunch of sesame seed on top as well. This is the classic Cheong Fun, and I don't know how to make it at home because I think it takes a lot of effort. I don't know if you can tell in the cameras, it's a lot of layers of the rice roll just sort of rolled up. And once you bite into it, you can sort of feel it as well. It's always delicious. It never fails to disappoint. If you think about it, just stand alone, it's just rice rolls with a whole bunch of different sauces. I don't know if it's because it brings back so many childhood memories, which is why I like it so much, but whenever I get a chance, I always get Cheong Fun. Another street food snack that is always my go-to is the fish siu mai. So there are different types of siu mais, like the ones that you get at yum cha restaurants are typically ones with pork in it, but the street food siu mai is the one with fish, and you usually have it with soy sauce. These siu mais and fish balls are bigger than the street food ones that I get in Hong Kong, but I'm not complaining. What I like about it, it's very tanya, which the word that comes to mind is elasticy, which doesn't sound appetizing at all, but I mean it in the most complimentary way. It's very, very chewy, it's elasticy, and you can taste sort of that subtle hints of like a fish meat type taste. Yeah, shumais and fish balls, they're always my loves. You can't go wrong with that. Okay, next up, another classic. It's the beef brisket noodles. So I think the first thing that I really do need to try is the actual soup base. And then of course the noodles, which looks extremely springy. And then beef brisket bits, which I'm hoping is tender and I don't need to chew too much. It tastes like what a beef brisket noodle broth should taste like. Let me process that a little bit and see what word I can use to describe it, but I don't want to wait too long and let the noodles get soggy, so let me try the noodles as well. These egg noodles are really good. They're really springy, and they're thicker than the typical egg noodles that I have in like wonton soups, etc. But you can taste the egg flavor and it soaks up, like it carries the flavor of the broth with it. Okay, and before I even try the beef brisket, I just want to talk about how many pieces of beef brisket there actually are. It's quite extensive. But yeah, without further ado, let me try one of these pieces of beef. A lot of these pieces of beef have a bit of fat attached to it as well, so it's quite soft. This is an extremely hearty bowl of noodles. It's the perfect winter meal, and you've got a bit of veggies as well. So if you like beef and you like beef noodles, definitely give this bowl of beef noodle soup a go. Okay, and last but definitely not least, we've got the pork chop rice. Now this is something that I always order when I go to a Tazantang, and I share it with quite a few people as well. But something about the sort of the vegetables and then the tomato and then the slices of pork on top of rice and then baked in the oven, it just tastes amazing. So they've sliced each of the pieces of pork into relatively bite-sized pieces. Pork is not too chewy, it's not too rough. See, I'm a fan of tomatoes, so I'm gonna like this anyway. But the rice itself, it has bits of eggs that are through it, so it's kind of like an egg fried rice. The tomato sauce is actually a little bit creamy as well, but it has the perfect combination of, tanginess. It's got that rice, which, I'm always a fan of rice. And the pork is not too rough. If you like pork and you like sort of tomato-based food, give this one a go as well. I never not order this when I'm going to a Tazantang with my family, so yeah, give this one a go. Okay, we are pretty much done at Kowloon Cafe, but we're not done with this video yet. Let me take you to our next location so I can show you all the other Hong Kong style food and desserts that I reckon you should try out. Now the next restaurant on this list is a place called Sugar Cubed here in Chatswood. Now we've had some meals, we had some snacks, and I really wanted to include some really great desserts here in Sydney. So what I've ordered is I've ordered a bunch of mochi, and I've also ordered some hot dessert soups as well. And I couldn't resist, and I also ordered a hot milk tea as well. And I saw the way that they pulled this hot Hong Kong style milk tea, and I kind of just know that it's going to be really smooth. So without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to taste this milk tea first. We're going to cut into these mochis and then get to tasting some of my go-to hot dessert soups. So with Hong Kong style milk tea, it's typically made using either condensed milk or evaporated milk, which is why it has that sweetness in it already, and I typically don't add any additional sugar to it. This is pretty amazing. They do offer sugar syrup for you to put into your milk tea, but the thing is, I find that sweet enough as is, so I don't usually put any additional sugar into my milk tea. But if you like your teas really sweet, then definitely go for it. This is so smooth. They pulled it 8 times to make sure that it is as silky smooth as possible, and you can really taste the difference when you drink this. Okay, I'm gonna add just a little bit of this syrup just to see what it tastes like. It's definitely sweeter, obviously. I'm happy without any sugar. I just like it as is. Okay, now we've got 4 mochis in front of us. There is 4 different flavors to it. So we've got peanut and coconut. We've got sesame, we've got the Hong Kong style milk tea, and we've also got something called a Yeung, which is a mixture of coffee and also the Hong Kong style milk tea. A Yeung is also a really delicious drink that I sometimes drink as well if I can't decide whether I want coffee or Hong Kong milk tea. So we're gonna cut into this. We're gonna give each of these mochis a taste. I think this is a Hong Kong style milk tea. It tastes a little bit like caramel. It's quite sweet, but the mochi is so soft and it's so chewy. If you're into mochis, you definitely have to give this a go. It's kind of like a different spin on this type of food. Okay, I'm gonna try the sesame one now. I hope I don't get any stuck in my teeth. I'm a huge fan of sesame, and this taste is so strong. Sesame mochis are just one of those things that it's like a perfect pairing, you know what I mean? Look how soft these mochis are. Like, me holding onto it changes the shape of it. This one is a peanut coconut, so it's a bit more savory, and you can see a bit of the coconut flakes in this as well. All right, and last and definitely not least, we have the Yeung, which is a mixture of the coffee and also the Hong Kong style milk tea. This tastes quite similar to the milk tea flavor, which, as you would expect, because it's a combination of the coffee as well. So if I had to choose one, I think the Yeung is my favorite. And then the sesame, you know, it's a classic. I really like that one, so yeah. Okay, now that we're done with the mochi, I do want to show you some of my go-to hot Hong Kong style dessert soups. I've got the glutinous rice balls, which is the Tong, and inside it has sesame. I've also got a classic Tofu Pudding, which is a tofu pudding. I also got a mukwa soup Tong, which is a papaya with snow fungus soup. And I've also got something that I was recommended to try. This is a coconut with peach gum. First of all, I think I'm gonna go with my go-to, the sesame Tong Yuen. So typically we eat this as a family during times like Chinese New Year, because the word Tong Yuen sounds a bit like just being together. So we've got 5 Tong Yuens, and it's in like a ginger type soup, and it's usually really good for my throat. I really like that kind of soup. So I'm gonna stop talking and we are going to dig in. I just bit this in half and you can see the sesame just oozing out. Eating this just brings back memories of like those really big family gatherings during Chinese New Year, or when we're together during winter, you know, that winter meal. Next up we have the Tofu Pudding, which is a little bit sweet, but it's very, very smooth. You saw them very carefully take it out of the pot earlier, and I'm a huge fan of tofu pudding. So I'm very, very excited to try this in front of you. You can sometimes get this at yum cha restaurants, and when it's available, I always get it. There's just something about the subtle sweetness and that taste of the tofu. It's very light, it's not too heavy. It's the perfect way to end a meal if you're really full, but you kind of feel like a little bit of dessert. Next up, the third hot dessert that we've got on this list. This is something that I'd have if I want something really soothing for my throat. I love papaya as is, but I think it tastes really good in dessert as well. It's a little bit sweet, and you've got all the different textures as well, because the snow fungus is quite, can I say crunchy? Yeah, it's kind of crunchy. The snow fungus itself don't have a lot of taste. It kind of takes on the flavor of the dessert soup itself, which is slightly sweet. You've got the really soft stewed texture of the papaya. I love having this after like barbecue or hot pot, because that kind of stuff is very like hot air, and this helps a lot with bringing down that hotness. Next up we have a peach gum dessert. This was actually something that was recommended to me. So peach gum is essentially resin from peach trees, and it's already solidified when you find it. And it has a range of different health benefits. So this is in coconut milk with snow fungus, papaya. So I've never had peach gum before, so I'm really interested to see what it actually tastes like. It kind of tastes like snow fungus in that it doesn't really have a taste. So it tastes like coconut right now because I have had it with the coconut milk. The peach gum itself is, you know, a little bit chewy. It's a little bit gummy as well, but the coconut milk. I'm a huge fan of coconut milk. It's so creamy, it's so fragrant. This is also something that's really warming, it's really soothing, it's really nice on your throat as well. So if you're looking for something like that, especially during winter, I don't think you can go wrong with this peach gum coconut milk dessert. Now, I can't make an episode on Hong Kong food without featuring this item, which brings us to Chatswood at a place called Celcius. This is what I'm talking about. Inside Celcius, a shop that does amazing ice cream, and they also do one of my favorites, Gai Daan Jai, which is an egglet. It's a street food in Hong Kong that I miss so much and I love so much. And they're actually about to close, but I came just before they closed and they let me film in here, and they also made the Gai Daan Jai fresh out of their waffle iron. And I have here a beautiful, beautiful thing of egglet. They're very exact with the way that they cook it. They have a timer and she waits 4 minutes to make sure that this is cooked through. This is so crispy on the outside, but then on the inside, it's still very, very soft. It's very, very pillowy. It's like it's got an exterior crispy shell, but inside it's like a soft pillow. That's exactly what makes a Gai Daan Jai so good, and they've done it really well. It's really, really hard to stop at just one when it comes to a Gai Daan Jai. And they also insisted on making me one of their signatures, their Taro Lattes, which I've just had. It smells so much like taro. It looks very beautiful. It's got like that hint of purple, and it tasted quite like taro as well. Oh wow. It's like taro ice cream but hot. Wow.
Ice cream. It's refreshment like this. Use the coconut to the fresh milk.
If you're a fan of taro, definitely try their lattes out. If you're a fan of Gai Daan Jai, or if you're looking for some good egg waffles, definitely give this a go. Alright, and that is it for this video. I hope you liked the food that was featured in this video. Definitely go check these places out if you're craving Hong Kong food. If you're still watching, thank you so much for watching till the end. I post new videos every week, so check them out if you have time. I hope you have an amazing rest of the day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!
It out?
Yeah, just take it out. No, the Yuen is really good.
Take it out.
Then take it out, Morris.
Take it out.
I'll take it out. How's the Cheong Fun?
It's really good.
So good.
I like it.
The ramen's quite tender as well.
Darlinghurst,
My high Chinatown.
isn't that in Darlinghurst?
No.
No. Darling, hers is nowhere near.
Oh, I'm doing it. I know everything.